Welcome to the Every Brain is Different podcast. It is Samantha and Lauren here with you. And Lauren, how's it going?
It's so going so good.
Good,
It's so good.
good, good. Today we are talking about touching grass and
I
why
love
that
that.
helps your mental health.
Go
You know,
touch grass.
yeah, I
I
always say
s-
that when people are being ridiculous. I'm like, you need to go
I
touch grass.
had to say this to my father, I think a couple times in the last week. I don't remember why, but I was just like, you need to go touch grass. Calm down.
That's awesome. I tell that to my kids all the time. I'm like, you need to go touch grass. Like, just go outside and reset yourself. But
Yeah,
I really think that that's like what helps
it's
people is going outside and it
important.
does like reset your body.
The it I swear by it, and I swear by it by witnessing my ADHD boyfriend thrive in nature.
Yeah, yeah. So yesterday I was feeling kind of like meh,
hmm
and my son said, "Will you go outside and play two square with me?" And I said, absolutely. I did not want to go play two square with him, but I was like, I'll go play. Anyway, we played for like 45 minutes and it was so fun and I felt so good afterwards. I was awake, I was alert. It's like when you go outside and just get the sun on you and then you're getting the
hmm
endorphins going. I mean, it's awesome. So that's what we're going to talk about today, like why nature helps regulate our bodies and brains and simple sensory friendly ways we can get outside, and then how outdoor time can improve connection and emotional regulation. So
Love
I really do think like going outside just resets your body
it.
and
hmm
just helps get some perspective on things.
Yeah.
So yeah, last night my kids spilled red Kool-Aid on my beige carpet.
Oof.
Probably should have went outside and like reset myself before I
Respond.
reacted to that. So just remember, just go outside. Just be like, I'll be back. I'll be back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did not respond well to that. I just, I did everything you're not supposed to do.
That's
But
fair. We can't
such
be
is
perfect
life.
all the time.
Sometimes it happens, and
Mhm.
sometimes you, instead of going outside, I just screamed for 5 seconds. And I was like, ah! And then my kids ran away
Slowly
to their
walk
rooms
out of the room.
and I cleaned it up and I found my kid crying because I scared him from my outburst and I felt so bad. But I am working on not doing that all the time. And sometimes you just gotta apologize. I apologized to him and we went on with life and everything was fine.
Mm.
But yeah, sometimes you don't react
Happens.
appropriately 100% of the time. But yeah, but we're talking about going outside today so that maybe you can react better than I did
When
most of
those
the
kind of
time.
things happen.
And when those things, when you're, and I'm talking like it was like a giant canning jar, not like the quart size or even pints are smaller than quarts. Not the quart size. It was like 4 quarts, that
Oh,
huge jar of Kool-Aid on my carpet. And mm, mm, mm. And it was like 9 o'clock at night and they were supposed to be in bed. So I'm like, why do you have Kool-Aid on the carpet anyway? What is
why
even
is this even
happening right now?
out?
Yeah, I was like, why is that even on like and I told my son, do not ever take this on the carpet. And he's like, well, I forgot you said that. And then my other son was like, well, I didn't see it there. So anyway, I'm making excuses for my reaction. There's no excuse. But here's the neuroscience of nature. So when we go out in nature, it affects our nervous system by activating the parasympathetic system, which is the rest and digest system, and it lowers cortisol and heart rate and improves sensory integration and attention. So the first one activates the parasympathetic rest and digest system. When we're stressed, rushed, or overstimulated, our sympathetic nervous system kicks in. This is our fight, flight or freeze response. And that's when we feel tense, reactive, or on edge, just like I did last night. But when we spend time in nature, our body starts to shift into the parasympathetic state, which is the one responsible for calm, digestion, and recovery. So, when you go outside, you might notice your breathing slows down, your shoulders drop, and your thoughts get quieter. And that's your nervous system saying, we're safe now. We don't have to fight, flee, or freeze. And then for neurodivergent kids who often live in a world that constantly overstimulates them, nature provides a sensory break that tells their brain you can relax. So that's a cool thing that nature does. It also lowers cortisol and heart rate. So studies show that even 15 to 20 minutes outside can lower cortisol, which is your stress hormone. And that's true for both adults and children. So exposure to nature sounds like birds chirping or water flowing can lower heart rate and blood pressure too. And I learned scary things about blood pressure yesterday, so you should keep that low.
I
I
do nature soundscapes at night to help me
Ooh,
calm
yeah.
and sleep, and
Yeah.
it's game changer. So the nature sounds are legit.
Yeah, yeah. And if you live in the city, maybe there's not a lot of nature sounds. Play that. That's perfect. Because when I go to my parents' house in the country, there's all sorts of nature sounds that I do not hear in the city, and it makes me kind of
Mhm.
sad. But yeah, so nature is literally telling your body to regulate. It's like hitting the reset button, like we said, for your stress response. And then the third thing that nature does is it improves sensory integration and attention. So nature is full of sensory input, but it's soft sensory input, not the kind that overwhelms, like bright screens or noisy classrooms or me turning up
It's
my music
gentle.
super loud. Yeah, it's gentle. Like you hear the birds chirping, you hear water flowing. I can't think of any other nature sounds, but you get it.
Leaves rustling.
Yeah, yeah. So you can feel grass. You can hear the sound of leaves rustling. You can see the sun. Don't look at the sun, but you can see the sun like coming through the trees. All of that helps your brain practice filtering and organizing sensory information in a way that feels safe. So, for kids with ADHD or autism, this kind of environment supports sensory integration, helping them tune in and out appropriately rather than feeling bombarded by all the sensory information they're receiving. It also improves focus, and researchers call this attention restoration theory. After being in nature, the brain has more capacity for sustained attention and problem solving, which I can attest to because yesterday, usually in the afternoon, I struggle really bad.
Hardcore.
Yeah, hardcore with paying attention, focusing on anything. And I felt like I could do anything that I wanted to do after I got back inside from doing that stuff with my son. It was awesome. So, yeah. And then the other cool thing about nature is you have
It's
a
free.
natural playground and it's free. Yeah,
It's a
it's
free
free.
playground for the
Yeah,
most part.
it's a free playground. So in nature, you have grass, rocks, sand, leaves, wind. So that those are touching things. Like you can touch grass, touch rocks, touch leaves, explore them. And then you can hear sounds like wind, birds, crunching leaves. And then proprioception and vestibular includes climbing, swinging, running, all those different things you can find for free in nature. You don't have to go to a gym, and it's awesome. So nature gives the safe sensory input like we talked about. So outside, sensations come in layers. You have the wind on your face, the crunch of the leaves under your feet, the birds in the distance, but they're predictable and rhythmic, like music. This is why music works so well, and gentle, like we've said before. They are very gentle. They're not going to bombard your system. So these kinds of inputs help the brain organize and make sense of sensory information. For example, just more examples because I love examples. For touch, you can feel grass, feel the dirt, or the bank provides grounding tactile feedback and it reminds the body, I'm here, I'm safe, I can feel the earth under me. And then for movement, Swinging, running, or spinning in a wide open space helps the inner ear recalibrate and brings balance back to the nervous system. For proprioception, climbing on rocks or pushing a wagon gives deep pressure input to muscles and joints, which helps calm the body and reduce impulsive movements. I think my son, who has ADHD, needs to go outside more. If I could convince him to go outside more, that would be perfect. But he's a homebody. He just has a lot of impulsive movements that
We
need to
could be
be
working out
helped. Yeah,
outside.
his occupational therapist will like beg him to go outside. No, I don't want to. So then they try to do things inside, and I'm like, you're gonna break my house. But anyway, when kids get this variety of input like proprioception, sound, touch, all those different things, in a gentle and self-directed way, their brains can process and integrate sensations instead of reacting to them. It's like giving their nervous system a chance to reboot. Well, like we said before, it's a reset when you go outside. And parents can feel it too. So when you walk barefoot in the grass or stop to notice how the air feels on your skin, you're giving your own brain the same reset. And that's co-regulation in action. So
Yay!
your calm body becomes the model for theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of seeing outdoor time as one more thing to fit in, think of it as a natural regulation strategy. So nature does have to work for you. It gives your child's senses a chance to settle down, and it gives you space to breathe with them. So one of the best things about being outside is that it's unscripted than unstructured. It can be as structured as you want it to be. Like yesterday, my son and I were playing two square, but if we just wanted to go outside and go for a nature walk or
Mm-hmm.
play a scavenger hunt, or there's no right way to play in nature. You can make it as structured or unstructured as you want. That builds creativity in kids and in yourself.
Imagination.
Yeah, like use your imagination. So this was perfect. My my kid's uncle, so my brother-in-law, I was like, how is he related to me? He created this thing where they drew pictures of animals that were going to be in their zoo, and then they pretended that the animals were outside and they had to go take care of the animals in the zoo. But they first had to go on like a nature safari type thing, and then they went to the zoo to take care of the animals. And they created this book, so they were drawing. They were creating, like their book, and then they were using their imagination to go on the safari, and then they were using their imagination to be at the zoo. I just thought it was really cool and an idea if you wanted to do something like that. So when kids are outside, also, they're practicing emotional flexibility. And this happens because nature is unpredictable. Sometimes the ground is uneven, sometimes a bug might surprise them, the wind might blow their artwork away, but it's still a safe place to experience the unpredictability. They learn to adapt, to adjust their plan, to try again, and it builds resilience in them.
I love
So,
that.
yeah, I think that's great because it's once again a more gentle approach to unpredictability, and it helps teach them resilience instead of just like sitting them down and being like, we're going to talk about resilience?
That's a part of it is that with the nature and why, like the gentler, it's not a person, it's not a thing. I can't blame you. I can't be mad at you, like because there's nothing there. It's just happening.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I think that helps kids. There's
Yeah.
not a
Because you can't
person.
say, oh, nature did that on purpose. You know,
Yeah,
if someone came up and took okay, let's think of an example where someone comes up and does something on accident, like knock over your drink or something like that. My kids and a lot of neurodivergent kids that I know would say, you did that on purpose. And they would blame the person, get mad at the person, say they did it on purpose, argue with the person. But if nature does it, they can't be like, the wind did that on purpose. They're out to get me.
yeah. I mean, they still might, but
Yeah.
it's less likely
Yeah.
because it's
And
just
it's more logical
happening.
to be like, this just happened. So then they're learning to deal with their drink spilling without having that added thing on top that another person did it to them on purpose and having to deal with those feelings too.
Hmm.
So, here are some practical strategies for neurodivergent kids to get them outside if they need some ideas of what to do. When I was a kid, my mom would just say, go outside and do
Yeah.
something.
Go play outside.
Go play outside. I say that to my kids, and they're like, well, what are we supposed to do? I blame it on being in the city because I grew up on a farm and I had wide open spaces, and my kids have a tiny backyard. What are they supposed to do? I wouldn't know what to do. That's on me, though. They deserve better.
It's like, oh no, Zia.
No, my kids have said, what are we supposed to do? There's nowhere to go because they go to their grandparents' house and they're used to that. And then they come home and they're like, we hate living in a subdivision. I was like, well, that's where we live, so you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
But here are some ideas if your kids need ideas. The first one is a nature walk or a leaf hunt. You can find 5 different colors, you can find different
And
textures.
now's the time.
Yeah, this is a perfect time for that because we have green leaves, leaves that are still on the tree, leaves that
Mhm.
are falling down. My daughter is noticing the leaves like no other right now. She's like, oh, they're falling down, or those are golden, or those are yellow, or those are green. And
Mhm.
I love it. The next one is a backyard sensory scavenger hunt, where we got these cards that we got for camping to go on a scavenger hunt. And you have to find something like find something that's rough, find something that's smooth, find something that blah, 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 blah. And we got them on Amazon. The link will be in the show notes. But it was really cool because my kids were able to take the cards and they were able to look for those different things. And then they bring them back to me and be like, look what I found, look what I found. Or they could take a picture of them because they're obsessed with taking pictures of things. So they would take pictures of what they found. And so that was really fun.
Nice.
The next one is to bring favorite comfort items outdoors. So noise canceling headphones, fidget, snacks. My kids really like to go outside and have picnics. So they take a blanket out there and they take all the snacks out there and just have a picnic. Movement breaks between tasks. So I do go run around the house 3 times and then come back in and we're going to finish what we're doing because I just need a movement break and like
Yeah.
going
Let that
outside and
energy
getting,
out.
yeah, yeah, and just get a reset. And so that's perfect. If you're maybe doing a hard task inside, maybe take it outside or have them take a break outside for a few minutes.
Hmm.
And then the last one is using playgrounds as practice for social and emotional skills. So if you go to a park or a playground and there's other kids there, you can practice your social and emotional skills while playing at the playground and being outside, getting that reset and everything. Common barriers to being outside, though, are transitions going from inside to outside. That seems to be a big one in my house where they're like, no, I don't want to do it because they have to transition to a new activity, new location, and they just don't want to. Sensory overload can happen outside, even with the gentle sensory input. So just be aware of that. Like if it's super windy outside, they're probably going to get overwhelmed sensory wise. I don't know how to say that. Or if it's like really, really hot outside, different things like that. So there are weather concerns too. In the summer here, it gets like 100 and something degrees. So you might not want to go outside when it's like over 100
Yeah.
degrees. And in the wintertime, it gets sub-zero. So maybe don't go outside when it's that cold.
Yeah.
But you can get like a sun lamp during the winter time. I think that helps, even if you're not going outside and getting like the sensory stuff that way, you can still get sunlight on you, even if you can't
Which
go
is
outside.
important.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And now in the fall, it's cooler weather. It's actually kind of perfect weather, I would say, to do stuff outside right now. At least where we live, it's like in the 60s right now. And I say that's perfect for outdoor adventures
Yeah.
that don't require getting in the water. Because if you have to get in the water, that's too cold. But
Yeah.
you can do things like collect leaves or pine cones, make a craft out of them. You can do a mud kitchen, water with mittens. That that's more of a summer thing. I don't know why I put that on the list. But anyway, I don't know. But that's more of a summer thing. But you can go on walks and not get overheated, not get, I almost said underheated, don't get cold. You can go apple picking. You can work in the yard. You can rake leaves. I can
A
only
lot.
think of chores right now because that was my upbringing. Like, we went outside to do chores because I lived on a farm. So you can do lots of chores outside in the fall time. Don't necessarily know. And when people are like, we're going apple picking, I'm like, you're paying to go apple picking? Like, I don't get that. If you're gonna pay for it, just buy the apples. But some people like it, so that's
It's the
cool.
experience. Being outside with your friends and family, doing an activity.
I know, but it's not for me. Maybe because I grew up doing that. Like, my parents had like 6 trees, and I literally fell out of the tree once from pretty high up. And my mom was like, get back to work, you're fine. She didn't believe me that I fell out of the tree because she didn't see me fall out of the tree. And I like hit my back and it really hurt. And she was like, you're just pretending because you don't want to do it. Get back out there.
And
She's
you've
like,
hated picking apples ever
and
since.
I was picking cherries that time, but I didn't want to pick
Yeah,
any fruit after that
that's
because
fair.
it was scary. But anyway, yeah. So just remember
Just go
that,
touch grass, guys.
yeah, go touch grass.
Sorry.
Nature regulates, it connects, and it restores. And just choose one small outdoor activity this week to do. If you're not used to going outside, if you're not used to getting fresh air, except to like walk to your car to take your kids somewhere, maybe go on a 5-minute walk before you get in the car. I don't know. But choose one small thing to do this week. And then think about when the last time was you truly felt calm outdoors and what made that moment feel so good. And maybe recreate that moment and see what you can do. And if you want more simple regulation strategies like this, you can join the the neurodivergent parenting community. And that is at everybrainisdifferent.com. We share practical strategies that actually work for real families. So
Check it out.
go check it out. See what you see if it's for you. Anyway, have a good week. Thank you for listening. If you like our podcast, share it with someone, leave a review, do what you want, follow us on Instagram, do all the things, and we'll see you next week.